Thank you, Mr. Reagan, and make it so noted that we received this from Mr. Reagan.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's not a problem. I got a
Okay.
question for you as well.
All right,
Okay, first of all, you tell me what was done today, or yesterday, or whatever you concoct, whatever this is. It couldn't be done 2.5 years ago. Tell me what your administration done. And I want to make it clear, what was done? And I think all colleagues need to know. And,
The Road family were not supposed to.
oh, no, wait, let me finish again. Where this place was condemned long time ago. Well, no, it wasn't condemned because it wasn't allowed to be brought to the council for condemnation. Can't get in touch with this and can't get in touch with that. Now the roof falls in, all of a sudden you get in touch with somebody. Am I the only one thinking this? Okay, I mean,
Fine.
tell me what was done, because.
okay, first of all, Mr. Martin,
Okay.
first of all, we're staying on topic here.
Oh, yes,
This is a
that's
meeting,
germane to what we're
Mr.
talking
Martin,
Okay,
Mr. Martin, this is a meeting to conduct business about
well,
condemning
what you
property.
think this is?
Now, Mr. Martin, I'm gonna ask you one more time to refrain. Okay,
First of all,
thank you.
all right, I want to make it clear, you got your legal right there with
Do you have a question?
Okay.
Do you have a
Is
question?
this not germane to what we're talking about right here, Mr.
Attorney Reagan, not at this time, sir. It's not germane to the subject. The subject matter at this time is to consider the emergency condemnation that is necessary. The condemnation proceeding is no longer valid in that sense that the chief and Tony have issued a report which is attached to your documentation. I believe there should be, which describes the emergency conditions that they have. Tony, Tony, you have those documents?
No,
No.
Madam Clerk, will you provide it?
no, I don't have it. He has the document, I don't have it.
All right.
So,
Wait, I got the documents here.
Please.
This is just a use case right here.
Chief and
Get what you got. Where's it at? You got the document?
the chief and the mayor,
Okay.
chief brought it back, I don't know, last night. I didn't hear.
It doesn't exist?
Absolutely, yes. sir.
Well,
It does
I'm asking. I'm just asking.
It absolutely exists. What the subject matter, you're asking for details about past history, like Tony has it right there. You want to pass that around?
Yes, sir.
Why don't the council?
Mr.
All right, we didn't make comments, I'm sorry. All right, so we're done with that subject. Again, we have business at hand.
Yes,
Pass
we
it
have
around
business
so
at hand.
everybody can see the document.
Okay,
Can
Thank
we
you.
get a copy in our?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Mr. Attorney, I have to disagree with you wholeheartedly when you tell me, with me asking what was done to get this done. It's not germane.
It's being done, what is being done today is the subject matter of this. That is why what is germane to the subject matter is not what previously occurred. We can discuss that later in another meeting. I think that this meeting needs to be conducted, and that we need to get this underway immediately. This is a matter of emergency, and you're asking about history.
If we would have done this 2 years ago, we wouldn't be right
I
here.
agree with you, sir.
Okay, so I'm just asking, what was done today that wasn't done 2 years ago? That's all I'm asking. I think we have a right to know.
There was a roof collapse and walls exploded. That's exactly what happened. The chief confirmed that to me, this condition of the property is Mr.
I understand that. I saw it.
That's what the
It
difference
made
is.
the newspaper, that's for sure. Okay, but now, even to that point, we had the owner of the house next door, tears in her eyes, saying stuff was flying, hitting her house, tin flying, people could be walking on the streets, anything. So all of a sudden, we telling her at the time, there's nothing we can do because we can't get the paperwork in. We have to go by a procedure. Okay, well now the roof falls in, it makes the topic of the paper. Okay, everybody sees this. Now it's national, not only
That is the answer.
citywide, it's nationwide.
Mr.
Okay,
Martin, I can't.
Mr. Ray, can I ask you, please?
The answer is this.
No,
The
no, I
roof
have
fell
asked
in.
a question.
This is the difference. The
Okay,
roof
what's
fell
that?
in, that's what they're doing. We're doing it now because the roof fell in. You have evidence from the chief of police who has to sign the document, as does the city inspector, the deputy inspector, someone qualified to say that it represents an immediate threat and hazard. Having something fly off the building, we have that all the time. Anytime a windstorm comes around, you have trees fall through the
I
windstorm.
appreciate that.
And so,
I appreciate that.
let's stick to the subject.
Okay, the subject, we're gonna stick to the damn subject. So I'm asking the question again.
Order, Mr. Martin, order, please.
Okay, but hold on, wait a minute.
No, sir, not hold up, order.
It is on.
No, sir, order.
I'll get back to
I'm gonna ask you one more time or you'll be removed.
Well, I'm asking a question. I'm just asking.
You got the answer? We
No,
did
I
not-
haven't got the
Yes, you did, he answered the question.
That's
Mr.
not the
Martin,
answer.
one more time,
That's not the
or you
answer.
will be removed.
We have a young lady here saying they had drug dealers and everything else.
Order second time, please remove him. I'm done with this. Thank you.
No, you're not done with me.
Yes, sir.
No, you're not. I promise you're not done with me. I promise you. And that's not a threat, that's a promise. We'll make that clear.
Any further discussion on the matter? Yes, sir.
I'd like to just say one thing. I think the question is why things have changed. The classification of the property has changed simply because the roof is caved in. Before we had all the legal obligations, that's what Tom is saying, before we had all the legal obligations that they need to be followed, protecting property rights, and because the roof has fallen in, we don't have to concern ourselves with that anymore. That's all.
If I might add as well, that it's not only the roof caving in, but it's also the structure itself, because the wall is leaning terribly, the whole structure is leaning. It has become an immediate and imminent threat, not only to the neighbors, but to anybody passing by.
Ms. Stringfellow?
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with that, but I would just like to say that we have numerous structures that have that same condition. So if there's anything we can do, Mr. Reagan, to speed up the process of all of these structures and dwellings, we're begging you to please let us know what we can do, because we would like to do that.
I have a discussion with Mr. Ritchie about this very thing. We're trying to follow your priorities list, and we're trying to get those done as quickly as possible. Things keep coming up, so I'm trying to get a meeting time with Ritchie, try to do this with the inspector's office and coordinate all this. But all this takes time, and as Mr. Coleman aptly observed, everything you have to follow all these rules and regulations. I don't know what Mr. Martin's problem is, but he seems to doesn't want to understand that there's a difference in how you treat different situations under the law. And so we can do, if we can meet those criteria where there's an imminent threat, and we've got the chief and the inspector's office going out there and inspecting the properties and saying, this can be done. And they'll sign off on it, because you gotta remember, if we get sued, everyone's going to court to testify. And I wanted to ask Mr. Dion, Mr. Dion, we'd like to enter your testimony in the record that you can confirm that that report that you just circulated is a report that you found the condition of the property in at this time.
Is that the report you gave?
Yes.
Okay. And the condition, you concur with what the chief, do you concur with what the chief just said?
Yes.
That's the condition of the property, okay?
Mr. Woodward?
And I hear y'all, but all this irrelevant though. Like we say, we got other problems just as worse as we got with this church. And those problems was there before even church collapsed. So if that's the case, all we need is a letter from the chief and the court inspector. Is there not other harm we should be doing right now though, right? That's all I'm saying.
You have to have the facts to justify it, yes, sir. You have the facts from the chief and the mayor, concur with the facts. The facts would be imminent structural deficiency that could cause a collapse or a threat to life or injury of property significant enough to be constitute an emergency under a definition of law.
Is worse house in the third ward that just like the church. So it's no different than the church,
I would,
period.
the gentleman you're looking at
Sure.
right there, those.
But they could come and sign a letter now that they should have been signed a letter for safety hazards. That's all we're saying.
I understand.
But y'all wanna follow the rules when y'all ready to follow the rules.